Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Ira. Today we're gonna make something really special and something very light and healthy and very quick. That would be my very favorite red bell pepper pasta. For the ingredients are very simple. You'll just require 2 bell peppers, onions, some cream, pasta, cheese, oil, garlic, rosemary, basil. Then for the spices, we would go for sweet paprika and salt and pepper. So let's begin. So the first thing we're gonna do is prepare the oven. That would be in 180 degrees Celsius. So let us do that. And I've set that in the convection. Next thing you want to do is prepare the water for the pasta. So I've just filled this with some water. Do not add the salt at the moment. You only add the salt when it starts boiling. So I'll switch on this gas. And now let's prepare our ingredients. I'm just gonna take 1 bell pepper. I'm gonna teach you how I cut it. So what I usually do is, instead of cutting it all the way, I just cut it from the top area so that it's nice and clean. And then I just pull that out all together. So like that, it would come intact and it would be nice and clean inside. Then I just simply cut this up into half. As we would be roasting it, you would not need to do a lot of chopping. I just keep that on the side, and you want to repeat that with the next one as well. Once we're done with the bell peppers, we're going to move on to the onion. I just take the whole onion, just cut it at the ends, and then just cut this in the middle. And without peeling it off, I'm just going to keep it in the tray because I do want it to save it from the roasting. Next thing, let's just prepare the garlic. What you want to do is take a baking sheet, stick it. You can even take a foil, but I do prefer going with the baking sheet. I'm gonna fold it once, then fold it again until you get this nice square shape. When you open that, you would see it cut into tiny squares. Then you want to quickly peel the garlic. So for this recipe, I will be using 4 to 5 garlics. If you like to go ahead, you can add more. If you want to go a bit less, you can do that as well. I just do not prefer when the garlic is very overpowering, especially in pastas. Once you've peeled all the garlic, I'm just gonna add a bit of an olive oil. That would be about half a teaspoon. I'm just gonna put some salt and very little pepper. And then you're gonna fold that up into a nice pouch looking thing. And just keep that in the corner. So once that's done, let's just start with the marination. You want to take around 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of oil. The one that I'm using would be olive oil. Then I'm just gonna add half a teaspoon of paprika. You can even reduce it. Some salt. And some pepper. And then you're just gonna mix that all up. So I'm just gonna use a brush and just cover that up. Make sure that you nicely cover this because it will help you enhance the flavor when it gets roasted and when you add it and make it a pasta sauce. Now our oven is ready, so we would be roasting the peppers. So let's just add that in. Again, the temperature that we have set is as 180 degrees Celsius. And we will cook it for around 20 to 25 minutes. While the bell pepper is getting roasted, we would start with our pasta. As we can see that the water has started boiling, the first thing you want to do is add the salt because we want to make it nice and salty and nice and flavorful. So make sure it tastes almost like seawater at this point. Once that's done, we will start with our pasta. And let your pasta cook for around 10 to 12 minutes till it's nice al dente. So before I drain, what I usually do is I collect a bit of a pasta water. This enhances the flavor and adds a bit of a starch which helps the cream to thicken. I'm just gonna take a sieve and the glove because it's gonna be really hot and just drain the pasta sauce. So if you're alone and you only have a sieve and not a proper pasta strainer or even a rice strainer, what I usually do is I'll just take a pan. I just put it at the bottom. I put the sieve on top of that and then drain it. It just makes your life a bit more easier. And to prevent it from cooking any further, I just run it through a cold water. So now it has been 20 minutes and we have taken the peppers out of the oven. Just keep it on the tray for at least 10 more minutes so that it's nice and cool for the mixer grinder. I like to add a bit of a darker texture to it, like a burnt texture to it, so that it gives out a nice smoky flavor to the sauce. Once it's nice and cool, we will start with the preparation of the sauce. You would just want to put everything inside the mixie grinder and make the sauce. So let us begin. So now all the vegetables are inside the mixie. What I'm gonna do is I'll take some of the pasta water and I'll just pour that in. And at this stage you can either use vegetable stock, chicken stock, or even water. Just because I'm trying to create a recipe which is not only simple and healthy but also budget friendly, that's why I'm just gonna use water for it. But you do have the preference, you can go for chicken or vegetable stock. Smells amazing. You can see that it's ready. Try to open this a bit slow because sometimes it does splash onto your eyes. Now let's just move on to the next step, which is seasoning of the sauce. Now you can eat it this way as well. It will still be very healthy, extremely flavorful with all the marination and seasoning that you did. But I just like it to be a bit more on the creamier end and sometimes on a bit of a spicier end. So I'm just going to go ahead with that. So you will just take a saucepan and just pour that all in. It has a nice gorgeous color to it. Now let's just switch on to the heating. I like to keep that in low while I'm cooking. So what I like to do at this stage is I will be taking a bit of a cream. That could be about 2 tablespoons or even 1/4 cup. And I'm just gonna add that. Make sure that it's on low flame or even turned off, because there are chances that due to high heat the cream can curdle and it will ruin your pasta sauce. So once you have added the cream, I will start with the seasoning. Now I'm just gonna add a bit more paprika to it. Now if you do not have paprika, that's okay. You can also use chili powder. It would not make a lot of difference. Once it's come to the boil, I'll just turn off the gas and just add salt according to your taste. Just taste that, see how it feels. If it requires more salt, you can add more salt or even pepper or add some more paprika. At this stage, I also like to add a bit of herbs to it. So I will go with basil. I'm just gonna take a few. Now with basil, what you want to do is you do not want to chop them with a knife because it damages the leaves. So what you want to do is you want to take these and tear it using your hands. So just tear them. This will make sure that the flavor is still intact and you do not lose any essential oils that the basil leaves have. I also like to add a bit of Parmesan to it. Even in the sauce, we can do it at the end as well while we're garnishing it. So what I do is I usually take shaved Parmesan instead of grated. They just have a way more beautiful presentation and profile according to me. So that's how they look. And we're just gonna add this one. And just to top it off, I'm just gonna add a bit of rosemary to it. Now let's just start with the plating. I have already put the pasta in my bowl, and we would just be adding the sauce. I'll just be using my signature Baked with Love. And just put that on the top. Once that's done, I'm just gonna add the basil. Again, you want to tear this up. And at the end, I would top it with Parmesan. And your nice pepper pasta is ready to eat. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. Do like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.